Are you looking for medical advice or expert opinions?
If so, this is not the podcast for you.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Ben, and we're the parents of 4 fantastic children who know just how to push our buttons.
Poor Parenting is a collection of stories from our experiences, our friends, and our listeners of the crazy stuff that parents go through every day.
Let's hang out and share a drink.
Subscribe!
Let's talk about punishment.
Okay. The good, bad, and the ugly. Go.
And I'm not talking about beating your kids, because that we don't condone. Or
Yeah,
do we?
no, definitely not. Physical abuse, absolutely not. Nope, this
No.
is not the podcast for you, right? Like,
Yeah, a tad of mental abuse, maybe.
oh my gosh, stop. Stop.
Of dash.
Yeah, God. All right, I might have at one point said some things that I should not have, but we'll get there.
You say a lot of things in anger.
I do.
No, not you, but everybody.
I do too.
Okay.
We're all getting to know each other now, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Some of our more creative punishments are holding a piece of paper to the wall with your nose for 5 minutes, hands behind your back.
Yep. That works really good if your child has ADHD.
Yeah.
Any type
That's
of
actually a real-
hyperactivity. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Great
Yep.
punishment. Not a doctor again, but
Yeah.
good one. Good punishment.
Taking the door off the wall.
Yeah, taking the door right off the hinges. The second that their room's not clean, they leave dirty dishes in there, they have food in their drawers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything. Or, of course, if you catch them in there with a girlfriend or boyfriend, right? If they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. Maybe you catch them in there just, doing dumb shit that kids do. So we like to take the doors off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're big into that.
Holding hands when they're fighting.
Yep. Especially brothers and sisters. It's the best.
More brothers and brothers. then they can tend to kick each other, and you just can't keep them from fighting.
Yeah, I agree. I would say another one along the lines, too, of the door is emptying the entire bedroom.
No,
Just leave nothing in there but the bed.
that was one of my favorites, but it sucked because he was still not old enough to move everything, so I had to do it. So it was a little more work on my part.
Little labor intensive.
Yeah.
Emptying that room. How old was he when we did that? We've only had to do a lot of what we talk about on these podcasts with our firstborn, right? Honestly, like we learned a lot.
I would
As
say
every
I would say
young.
he was 12, 13, 12,
No, I think he was probably 10 or 11.
10 or 11.
10 or 11. I think it was 4th or 5th grade when we emptied out his bedroom.
What did he do? Do you
I
remember?
cannot even remember. That's how insignificant it was. I can't remember.
I think he got an email sent home from the teacher.
It could have been
That's
that.
usually when we go over those type of punishments. They're pretty severe. I consider those more on the severe level because he didn't have much to do other than hang out with us and do homework.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it
and-
was right in the middle of the school year.
Yeah, well, he had a lot of sports too, and that was the one thing we never wanted to take away because then the team suffers, right? So
Yeah, that was never even an option on the table for a
No.
punishment.
no.
He needed to blow off steam.
Yeah, and we tried taking away, outside. We tried taking away friends. We've taken away the Xbox, the game systems. We've done that with Benjamin too. I mean, he'll come out of his room and he throws attitude quick, right? I mean, if we ask him to do something in the middle of a live stream or a game, now I don't know, right? Parents, if you're listening and you may game, right, as adults. How inconvenient is it to just pause? I know live stream means live, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God,
Well, we can pause a podcast. I
It-
don't know. Yeah, so
that's what I mean. You could pause it, you can keep going. I don't know, like in a live stream on
probably
a game
because you're
system
on like a team
with others.
setting. Yeah. I guess.
Okay. Oh God. That's like his biggest pet peeve with us, I think, is the second he's in the middle of a live stream. I'm like, Benjamin,
We should get him one of those little on-air lights
Oh my God.
for the outside of his door.
That's actually awesome because we could see that from over the
balcony,
catwalk.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. All right, write that down. Take a note on that for a Christmas gift. That'll be really cool. I think he'll like that a lot too. We'll buy 2. We'll buy one for the studio and one for his bedroom. Although I gotta say, like the kid, as angry as he gets over it pretty quick. We've had,
yeah.
yeah, we've had times where we've had to take his Xbox away for a couple days so he could straighten out.
Yeah, and I think that's just what would you call that? Just a decompression time
Yeah.
where he doesn't have to get all stressed. I think he gets really stressed when he plays the games, or just
I
his
think
brain
he's
goes a
over
mile a
anxious.
minute. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's just over anxious because I think he wants to win. I think most kids at 12 or 13 want to be gamers when they grow up, right?
yeah.
So he's like, oh, if I can get more people to view my live stream. At one point, I think he said like his high was like 38 people that was watching him play live, which for a 12-year-old kid, I feel like,
That's a lot. Yeah.
hell yeah, that's a lot, right?
It's more than a classroom.
I don't even get 38 likes on my LinkedIn posts, for God's sake, right? I mean, so when you think, and I have a lot of followers. So I think 38 for a 12-year-old is good. But the attitude sometimes is crazy. So we've definitely had to dish out our fair share of punishments. Julianne, though, I don't know if she's our golden child. I do not recall punishing that child. I mean, can you recall a punishment other than,
Taking away her phone.
right, other than the phone?
But
what I'm
that's her crutch at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
that thing. I don't think I've ever seen her, or in a while, haven't seen her phone out of her hand.
Well, and so we talked about that too with the kids. I mean, the boys, it's the game systems. We're talking about screen time. So when we listen to 2 Cents Tuesday
Yeah.
with Dr. Jarrett Patton, he gives all types of advice on parents and how to, manage that screen time. And right now, knowing that it's virtual learning, in the summer months, they were, sometimes 16 hours on screen time. So the boys have the Xbox issue where we have to take that away, but for girls,
the phone.
largely, it's the phone. She watches Netflix on the phone. She watches YouTube on the phone, Hulu on the phone. She's got a huge TV in her room that never gets turned on. It's the phone. It's insane. And thank goodness she's on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, you just. But I mean, again, with the punishment, I mean, that's the only thing you can do, because if you put her in a room, I feel like she's on vacation.
Exactly. Especially in our craziest house. I mean, you got people running around like crazy in our house. Actually, when we're in the studio, it's my favorite place to be.
In here.
Yeah, no kids, quiet.
That's just because you get to see all my comic books.
Oh, God, stop. That's a whole nother podcast, too. Oh. Our poor parenting moments, though, are definitely wrapped around punishments. And we have had punishments where I have then at night, after dishing out the punishment and in that moment being so upset, taking things away, then that night we would go to bed and I would cry myself to sleep, right? Like I'd be like, oh, did we
You
do
get
it?
really restless.
Yeah, did we do it wrong? Did we overreact?
I think every parent, though, second guesses themselves in a lot of situations where, there's no book, Like, I didn't get a handbook.
Nope.
Yeah, when Benny came out and the doctor was like, here you go. It wasn't, hey, here's the test or here's the handbook on how to handle anything.
Yeah, totally agree. And obviously, as any new parents, you take the advice, I think, of the other parents in your life that have done this before, but at the same time, you want to own it, right? You want to be like, oh, I did that. I made that choice, right? There were plenty of times when my parents would give me advice with the first two kids. Jason being as little as he was, I didn't want to listen to anybody. I was a brand new mom. I wanted to do it. I wanted to handle it. Luckily, I had a lot of help. You were there when Jason was born, sitting in the hospital, so you helped too. But yeah, I think parents, just to circle back and just get us back on track, I think parents tend to have, remorse pretty quickly, I think. And then that's where the inconsistency comes in. So you always tell me I'm the inconsistent parent, which I will own fully, because I end up being the one that gives in and gives back.
Sometimes a punishment lasts 20 minutes with Amy, and when we take away whatever we take away, it's, you lost it for the weekend or a week, and Dad walks out of the house and Mom gives it right back.
Okay, but let's keep it real. When we punish our children, we are punishing ourselves. In a lot of cases, right? Because then they don't have their TV, they don't have their phone, they don't have their game system. Where are they? Where are they?
Yeah, they're just whining in your ear. But
Exactly.
at that point, you have to just man up and just deal with it.
This is why I am a poor parent. I keep wine on stock. I mean, I love you, Ben, because whenever I'm out, you run right out and get it for me. Because it's always like kids, I'm telling you, you don't see them all day. And then they're right there. Just when you least expect it, your phone rings and all of a sudden you have your girlfriend calls and then it's like, oh, there's a kid. Now they want your attention. Same thing with punishments. I feel like it's a punishment for us. They're in our face. They're in our ear. They're whining. Oh, sometimes I can't handle it. That's why I give in.
I want some food.
Yeah, my gosh.
I need 97 snacks.
That's why I give them their phone and their game systems back pretty quickly. So they leave me alone.
Just send them outside.
Yeah. The sun's out, you're out. That's our motto. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Poor Parenting. If you have moments that have you scratching your head, screaming, smiling, and swearing at your kids, visit our website at poorparenting.live, where you could even be a guest on our show. Until then, cheers from Ben and Amy.